And now, from the Sunnybrook Ballroom in Pottstown, Pennsylvania, it's the Bring 'em Out podcast with your hosts, Joel Richardson and Alan Hill.
Hey everybody, we're here at the Sunnybrook Ballroom inside the podcast studio with another episode of Bring 'em Out. I'm Alan Hill, here with Soul Joel himself, Joel Richardson. Today we have a very special guest, you may say the most special of guests.
Yes, long overdue.
That would be Mama Soul Joel.
Yes.
Donna Richardson. Welcome, Donna.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. She even brought her own stool for her feet, her feet stool.
Yes, because...
And off camera, she was about to go into a story from when I was little. I would not be here without for her persistence. I probably after we left Royersford, I probably would have quit 2 or 3 times if it wasn't for her.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and it went from intervention to you better get a job to you better not quit.
I love that.
Complete difference in 10 years. But when Joel was little,
Well, I felt really bad as a mom, and I think any mom would feel bad. He was going to run down the mall to hurry up to get somewhere. I had been standing on the end of his shoelaces. So when the poor kid started to run, he just went face first on him. I shouldn't be laughing, but it was a long time ago, and he's fine.
He survived?
yeah. She shouldn't be laughing. Alan is laughing. I'm not laughing.
Did he fall right on his face or what happened?
Right on his face. I mean, any mom that tells her kid, go ahead, run, and steps on their shoelaces will feel like a horrible mom.
You know what's funny?
Priceless.
I didn't remember that until she started telling the story. That's not something that you're like, hey, remember that time?
Right, totally. Yeah, let's yuck up about that over Easter dinner.
Yes. I think I remember jumping up and then being like, Mom, like,
Why'd you do that?
Yeah. I accused you of doing it on purpose,
Oh,
right?
that's so awesome.
Yeah. Now I remember.
How old was little Joel at this point, do you think?
Oh, my gosh. He couldn't have been. It was under 10 for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I was
Probably
going to say
more like
6 or 7.
Yeah.
If you're at the running in the mall phase,
Yes.
did you have to whenever I got new sneakers?
Yes.
I had to sprint back and forth around the mall.
Yeah.
I look how much faster I am because of my new sneakers.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Except when your mother's standing on your shoelaces.
Yeah, no. I had free reign to sprint, I think. As far as I remember, maybe she might have some tale that she can come back
I don't
with
know
too.
why that went through my head, but it just
That's
did.
hilarious. I
Dude,
love it. Good
and
one.
this just sparked a few other memories that I thought she was going to tell.
Ooh.
So one Christmas, I asked for a Cabbage Patch doll as a male, as her son. And I didn't just and that was when they were the height, like that was the hottest ticketed item that year for a present. But I didn't just ask for that. I asked for a chocolate one. I never said black because I had 2 grandmothers, grandma with the white hair and her mom who dyed her hair. I didn't call it black or brown. I called it chocolate.
Were you going to name him with Soul Joel?
Yes, hilarious. And this is around the same age. What did you think when your son, you have 2 daughters and your son asked for a Cabbage Patch doll?
I didn't think anything of it because that's what you wanted for Christmas.
Yes.
But I had a heck of a time, and finally, I forget who it was at Toys R Us or one of those toy stores, and there happened to be one left. And they called me. I said, please buy it.
Yeah, and this was before Venmo.
Yeah, before Venmo, people used to wait in lines for these at
Right.
the toy store for the
Totally.
door to open.
Oh, it was Madhouse then.
It was a madhouse, but Santa made it.
Wow.
That's I know how impressive that is because we had to do the same thing for my sister.
Okay.
And my mom unleashed me like a defensive tackle in a scrum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, people would kill for that.
They legitimately.
Oh my gosh!
I threw a few elbows.
Sampled. You could get trampled in line.
100%.
Trampled.
And this was old school. There was no online.
No.
You had to show up. You had to be there. And there was a line at, I think it was like Wattenshand or one of those kind of places. There was 50 or 100 people. I couldn't tell you I was probably 10 and I was just off the football season. You know what I mean? And I was ready to go, And my mom, basically, it was almost like she had me on a leash and she just let go of the leash. She says, do what you got to do. I remember her looking at me and going, do what you got to do.
Leashes for kids. Did your mother ever have a leash?
No. But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you just put it around their wrists or on your wrist. The only time I did use them, I did use them once, is when we went to Disney World.
Oh, well, that kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Disney World.
Keep the monkeys on a leash.
Yeah, totally.
No, because it was so crowded. We went at
nut
Easter
house.
time, Easter vacation, so the place was mobbed.
Yeah.
And I was there by myself with them, and I was afraid I would lose them.
Okay.
Especially the girls. I don't think you were on the leash.
I would hope not.
But the two girls, I did.
So awesome.
I just thought for 1 second, if I looked away, they would be gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I was by myself.
Listen, that makes sense. That really does.
Yeah.
It's the ones that are walking them on a leash around their neighborhood when nobody else is around that I call into question.
Right.
That makes perfect sense.
Right.
That's a parent doing what you got to do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the other story that this sparked was obviously off camera. We talk about Joel Souls and being here, and certain probably we're all on the spectrum.
No doubt.
And I asked my mom about this, and she goes, "No, I had you tested, and you're not."
Well,
I was talking about wrestling and cutting weight. She goes, "Yeah, your brain was just malnourished."
Well, because he was not able to study, because he was cutting so much weight. I will never sign, and I don't recommend any parent sign one of those forms to allow your kid to cut weight beyond what they should be cutting weight. I didn't want to sign it, but he cried that he wasn't gonna be able to wrestle, and I thought, okay. And but that year he had a rough time in school. We had him tested because he just wasn't performing, and it was because he malnourished his brain.
Yeah.
That's
It's a real
crazy.
thing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a real thing, man.
It's a real thing.
Those wrestlers are nuts, man. Like,
Oh yeah.
like, I had it bad enough in football. I mean, they were taking me to cut weight every Saturday morning when I was 9 years old. You know what I
you
mean?
wrestled too?
No. This was football.
Oh, this
That's
was
how
football.
maniac my football coach was.
You had to cut weight for
the
football?
only one. I was a quarterback and the middle linebacker, and they wouldn't let me move up to the proper weight class because they wanted me to continue being the quarterback and the middle
So
linebacker.
what'd you have to do? You had to cut
okay.
back a donut or two in the morning, or like what? Did you
Dude,
just not?
it was like
I'm joking, obviously.
Yeah, no, I was cutting like 5 pounds every Saturday morning.
Oh, dude, that's
3 to 5 pounds.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and I would be sitting in a sauna with a 40-year-old man, just me and him, for 45 minutes to an hour.
I know some of the guys used to actually spit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
try
I'm
to
sure.
lose
When
some
Joel
weight.
cried, that wasn't just because he was sad. He was trying to cut weight.
I'm still crying,
He's like, that's an ounce.
dehydrated.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah, it's a wild thing they put
Yeah?
people through. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
my gosh.
I'm in favor personally, although it would take a dinosaur emotion of change to get this to happen. They should do the weigh-ins 5 minutes before the match.
Yeah.
Because then that would eliminate weight cutting, and it would be a much healthier sport.
I think so.
But try to get those dinosaurs to change their mindset. It's going to take a while.
Yeah.
Never.
And it breeds a mental toughness that is out of this world.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
So what if their kidneys fail in their 50s?
Years down the road.
Years down the road. Oh, my gosh. That is something.
So this past week, we actually were sitting. She took my twin nieces to their first swim practice. They're doing like a whole clinic.
Cool.
And of course, like the coach had come over to us, and he's a big fan. But then there happened to be a parent that comes all the time, and Pat Kenny. You probably see him if you see him.
Yeah, I definitely know that name.
Yeah, he
Definitely.
comes to all
I
like
have to
the
see the
Joe
face,
List
but-
and Mark Norman, but all the shows, even in the wintertime.
Oh, he's a comic.
In Row. No.
Oh, no, he's a fan.
It's yeah.
Okay, I definitely know the name.
Yep. So it turns out that his kid was in the same class, and but he turns around and like he obviously had seen me but didn't want to say anything. And when I turned around, he was like, "Hey, we're talking," and he ends up saying how much he enjoyed the book, and said how well she came off. Mm-hmm. But there was such. I want you to touch on all 3 of the chapters. You had Joel's crazy for leaving $100,000 a year job, pharmaceutical sales, to then you being in the crowd at the Valley Forge Casino, and widow and widowers were coming up to her going, "This is our first night out since we lost someone, and you don't know how much Joel's shows have meant to us." And now you're here in person with Sunnybrook and having people coming up to you, whether it's dance or Frank Sinatra or comedy, and you're answering the phones. What I mean, that's a wide range of emotions.
A wide range.
What's that roller coaster been like?
Actually, it's your end result is very, very positive. Which,
That was answered like a mother, right? I don't like how you got here, but the
I would have taken a completely different path. But now that we're here,
there was no map.
I think I would have kept it part-time until we got to a certain point
Yes.
instead of just
Paid
boom.
down my debt.
Or just had some kind of money coming in or got a part-time job while you're part-time comedy. But I think I would have tackled it a little differently. But where you are now is just perfect. I mean, because you are with this place and the way Chuck sold it to you, and thanks to Chuck, he left everything here intact, the restaurant, all the equipment. I mean, there was just a few things he took, but it was a turnkey operation. And you just had to get the venues here. And slowly you're bringing them back. And I shouldn't say slowly. In a year and a half's time, you have touched so many different people.
Yeah.
I mean, all the different dances.
yeah,
He's bringing in different bands.
Yep.
And I'm sure you have some play in that with your knowledge and everything.
it's been a wild ride and fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and you still kept the weddings, which the wedding venues were here before.
Established, yeah.
And you have banquets for companies, and you opened up the restaurant again. And I mean, it's just, you have touched so many different people, and no matter what you like or what you do, you have kids programs.
Yeah.
The kids enjoy it. So you're trying to bring in the whole family, and each season you have something different. You have the line dancing has been really big every Tuesday.
Yeah.
And all the way,
People
Donna,
love
like
that.
from kids all the way to busing in people from retirement communities.
Yes.
You got the whole gamut.
Yes.
You know?
Oh my gosh. You touch a lot of different souls and bring a lot of happiness, and laughter has been proven to be a healing quality.
That's a no BS thing. That is absolutely 100%.
And it's just, it has helped so many people in so many ways.
Big time.
And it's a wonderful place.
Tell her about the trip that your mom took to New Hampshire or Vermont.
Yeah, it was. I think it was New Hampshire.
Okay.
And she was up there going to see a friend's play. Okay, there was a friend from her church that moved up there a few years ago, and a bunch of her church friends went up to see her do her play.
From Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
To Rhode Island, and they're there watching this play. And they're there. They start meeting some of that person's friends that had lived there now for a year or two. And one thing leads to another. Discussions happening. I don't even remember how. My mom probably must have brought it up somehow. I don't remember how. And she brings up Sunnybrook. And some guy in his 80s up there is like, I used to go there for dances in the 50s and 60s or whatever.
Oh
you know what I
my
mean?
gosh.
Like, he knew
What a
it in
small
New
world.
Hampshire.
Yeah.
For crying out loud. I mean,
Of all places.
Of all places. They go to see a play, 8 states away or whatever, and
Right.
run into somebody that knows this place. It's
Well,
wild.
it is historic, so it has been around for a long time. In fact, there was a gentleman that called today to book his reunion from, I think he said probably back in 65, and
Okay.
he had his prom here.
Oh, jeez. Isn't that
Yeah.
cool?
And it'll be so nice for that whole class,
Yeah.
or who's ever here of that class, to relive some of that.
Yes, right where they had their prom. That's
Right
so
where
cool.
they had their prom.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
That's one of
so
the neat
people-
things about being here is running
Right.
into these types of people. Like
Yeah.
your
Exactly.
organ guy.
Yep.
You know?
Oh, that's a story.
Yeah. That was crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about that guy coming back?
Yes.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think I don't think we talked about it on the pod, but we've talked about it privately.
Yeah,
it's a great story.
So my mom has instilled in me that cardinals are a sign.
Yes,
Loved
yes.
ones looking over you, and my grandparents always be. So through that whole process of trying to find this place after leaving Roars, we must have went to 30 different locations, probably 5 or 6 different townships. So we finally met with Chuck, the former owner that she mentioned, and the township of Lower Pottsgrove, where we are right now. They were thrilled. They were like, we know Soul Joel's. We know what you're capable of. We're excited that you're going to be coming into town and bringing some life back into Sunnybrook and keeping this place going. So they leave, fast forward, and a guy walks in, and I'd never seen him before. He asked about Ursula and if this place was still a brewery. He was from Delaware, dropping off a friend. And Deanna and I leave, come back in, and we go in the parking lot. Chuck comes running out. He's like, you got to get back in here. And this guy's just playing the organ. Beauty and the Beast, be our guest, put our magic to the test. I thought instantly of her mom, who I had not thought about being on this journey because she had passed long before I started comedy.
Oh, I didn't remember this.
But
Okay, cool.
she embraced the arts because she was a music teacher and played the pipe organ every Sunday in church.
Oh, I would have loved her.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. You would have loved her.
Oh, that's so cool.
And
And
it
I-
was a pipe organ. Like
Yeah,
this
just
one.
like that. And, you don't see those every day.
Exactly. And I said, I go, you remind me of my grandmother. And he goes, that's what I do. This guy is from Delaware and plays the pipe organ every Sunday in church and is a music teacher. So he goes and leaves. I don't even get his name. Drive home, 2 cardinals sitting on the fence. After that, everything fell into place, and we purchased Sunnybrook. The SBA loan went through, and the liquor license transferred. In October 31st, 2022. I don't see this guy. I don't think about March of 2024 this year. He walks in. Of course, the busiest day. We owe 280 people for a swing dance. They're camping out like it's a Eminem concert or like the Grateful Dead.
Love it. Eminem or the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
I should have taken that back.
I love that.
Yeah.
Both big draws.
Yeah. No, but like they were out in the parking lot waiting for me to open the doors like an hour and a half before the show.
Man.
Yeah.
I mean, that really is like the Grateful Dead.
three
Or
different
Jimmy Buffett.
3 different 90-year-olds.
Wow.
Yeah. And so we open the doors and this guy walks in and I go, it's good to see you again. I go, I thought you were an angel. He goes, no, I live in Delaware. He hands,
I live in Delaware because an angel could not possibly come from Delaware.
hands me his card. His name is Michael Xavier Lundy.
Okay.
And goes, I go, do you want to play? He goes, yeah, I would love to. And I go, we talked a year and a half ago, and I told him all. He goes, is that when that was? Just talking in very angelic conversation. Starts talking it. Applause breaks by the people in the crowd because they think I organized this whole thing. I didn't orchestrate anything.
That's incredible, man.
Dude.
But it is such a beautiful organ.
It's amazing. It's one of the most. I've been a musician my whole life, and I've never seen an instrument like that.
And
Yeah.
you've heard it?
Oh
Have you
yeah.
heard it?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. No, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. That's astonishing.
And this guy plays it a little different than Ralph Brown, who plays it once a month.
Okay.
And I don't know like the difference and how, but like he I don't know.
The thing with that instrument is there's a lot of little quirks to it. Like there are normally on a drawbar organ.
Yeah.
When you're drawing the bars,
Yeah.
you're changing the tone of the organ. Like it might go from like and be real high and tinny to like a little lower or bassy or something. That's a very, very simplistic explanation. There's a lot more to it than that. But on that thing, you start pulling bars and hitting buttons, and drums start playing from up on the balcony.
Yeah.
And horns start going off, and you know what I mean. Like there are
It's so different that people think it's 2 different instruments.
completely unique instrument.
Yeah.
There's nothing else like it. There's other things that have the similar design to it that you can play other instruments by pulling things, but I doubt there's another one exactly like that anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's astonishing.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean,
Yeah.
like it's no other way to put it. It's one of the coolest instruments I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
There's not too many around.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. And less by the day. You know what I mean?
Right, because it's so.
So the
yeah.
fact that is still intact and playable is, I mean, it's got to be a very tiny number that are still like that in the
And
world.
it's constant repair to keep it going. So we always have fundraisers for it, just to help keep it going.
See, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
and come
people
out and support
love it,
that.
and they
people.
will come. They will come support.
Yeah, that's so cool because it is
And there's some people that just gave donations with checks.
love that. That's
Yeah.
how important that is, and that's like it's
The
I
upkeep.
just think that's so cool.
Yeah.
I think that's so cool.
People love it.
Yeah, people are supporting, and that's a beautiful thing because it really is unique.
Dude, and I'm sure when we have your mom on, she's gonna tell you that you're, similar to her, similar to your dad. Both my parents, both in sales, I've always give them credit for. They said always tell the truth, and you never have to remember what you said
I love that, man.
because you're
That's always been
speaking,
my philosophy.
speaking for a living. And I don't have to worry about, what did I tell this person or what? And you're trying to keep track of
All
not
these-
necessarily lies.
Yeah, but
a little stretch of the
yeah.
You don't have to worry about it. You're just-
misrepresentations, perhaps.
And way people even when they paraphrase what I said.
Yeah.
by what they're telling me, I can understand what they said.
Yes.
Now, what I will tell you, and I give credit to them, we just had a conversation yesterday, which is perfect for this.
Okay.
She reminded me that she used to have these self-motivational, now we have Tony Robbins and all these other people. There was Donna Richardson back in 1988. She was doing it herself. And I, one time, grabbed her Walkman because I used to go running just like her. She would wake up and run 3 miles before my sisters and I got up for school.
Wow.
Every morning.
I did.
Wow.
That's the only time I had to exercise.
Yeah. That's amazing.
But I played play on the press play on the Walkman, and I heard, "You can do it, Donna."
Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh,
you can do it. You are amazing.
Oh, and this ties in. First time we had Deanna on, she was talking about jogging with Joel.
Yes.
And she starts dusting him because he was coming back and getting back in shape.
Yeah.
And she turns back around and he's going, "Come on, Joel. Come on, Joel." The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, Donna.
Yeah, but I did eat that apple.
That's so awesome. And you both kept going, I'm guarantee it.
Well, what started me doing this, Alan, is
I love it. I love it.
I got my salesperson license, and then I wanted to get my broker's license because there were courses that you only had to take like this one extra course to get your broker's license. And I thought, if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it and remember everything. So, and I'm an audible learner. Some people...
Okay, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, you're different kinds
As opposed
of
to reading or whatever,
right,
yeah.
Correct. I'm an audible learner. So and everybody told me, oh, you're going to flunk the broker's test the first time. And I thought, I can't.
You don't have time.
I can't. First of all, I don't have the money to fail it and take it again. And second of all, I don't have the time. So I thought, I'm going to just, I would go on that tape. I would ask the question. I would pause. So I would have time to think while I'm running.
I love it. I love the thought
and then
process
I would
here.
say the answer.
I love this.
So that's what started me making these tapes. And I passed my broker's exam the first time.
I love this.
I didn't know that.
Well,
Yeah,
if we had known it, we would have helped Brett. We could have cut that in half for the man. Now, when did the learning method turn into self-motivation?
Well, I knew I set my financial goals. Back then, houses were $79,000 for a single family
For
house
a nice
back then.
house, yeah.
I felt to live comfortably and get the kids their gear that they needed for sports and the groceries, and I made up a plan to be comfortable. I wanted to make $100,000 a year back then.
Right on.
In order to make that, I had to have so many listing appointments a month in order to close at least one of those listings.
Right. Okay.
And I had to have so many buyers out in order to close one of those, to have so many settlements a month.
Okay.
So that's what started it. I will have this many appointments this week. I will have this many appointments, of buyers, of sellers. I'm going to talk.
Wonderful.
So that started it. That's probably part of what you heard.
Yeah.
That's really smart, man.
Yeah.
Robert.
Just a numbers game.
I kept telling myself that I was going to do it, and go ahead.
I was just going to ask, how old were the kids when you were doing this?
9, 6, and 3.
Okay.
So it was 1980. That was 1989.
Well, I think Laura was 4
Okay.
back then, so it was 4, 7, and 10.
Okay.
They were 4, 7, and 10.
Right on. Okay, cool. I just wanted to have the perspective there. Cool. That's
Right.
amazing. That's so cool.
And I had no family, so every time I had an appointment, I had to hire a babysitter.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
So I knew my budget, and I knew what I had to do, and we did it.
Man, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And that's
Yeah.
something that we have in common. Very strong, very cool, very smart mothers.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I
No, 100%.
appreciate
I mean, I knew that the second I met you back a few years ago. you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, his mom was a female in the 80s in the construction business.
She was a general manager of a construction company starting in the late 80s. Well, she started as the financial person and became the general manager by the early 90s, I think it was, by 90 or 91.
And she
something like
probably had to buck a lot of people.
big time. Yeah, there was a lot of male stuff going on in that business for sure.
Oh, and they probably still didn't want to pay her the same.
That I don't know. I would have to ask
would
her,
like
but
to, you should ask her that, because that's what made me originally get into real estate.
because a commission's a commission.
Commission's a commission. Didn't matter if I was male. Didn't matter if I was female. I was.
Or how Donna identifies.
But that that's what made me get into it, because when I was thinking about other jobs and going on interviews and stuff, I wasn't going to get paid what the men in my in the same industry got paid.
Yeah.
And I thought, no, I got to get into something where it doesn't matter. And the real estate.
It may have been a little different for my mom because the company was owned by a woman.
Okay.
Yeah, I still have to ask her. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
a good question.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a good question.
She
for
also
her.
worked at H&R Block before that, doing tax returns for years. So we can ask her specifically about that too.
Right. Because a lot of times you didn't the female, even if you were the head of household, they didn't care. You did not get paid the same.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
Bonkers. It makes no sense.
It makes no sense at all. But I think it's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
I certainly hope so. I think so. We'd have to do a lot of research to verify that, but
Right.
more than we're capable of, I think. But I feel good about
Not
it.
that
on the
I
whole.
want to do that.
No, but I'm with you 100% on the whole idea. Really.
Right.
Well, and what's really helped is that being in real estate, there's slow periods and busy periods,
Oh, no
and
doubt,
because of that, like she'll be here and I'm like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, and she's like, "Oh, well, I'm working the job that I'm getting paid at."
I'm still working.
So she's
Still
been
has a
able.
plan too. I love it.
So she has her cell phone, which you can have anywhere.
Yeah.
So instead of being at home, she's been helping me put systems in place. And because before real estate, she was an office manager and an accountant, so just like your mom. So
get out. Okay, cool.
she's able to help me with a lot of the financials.
That's
and-
huge, man.
Yeah.
That's huge because I am so bad. My mom still does my taxes. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm not a CPA by any means.
We're not
And
there
I
yet.
couldn't do the taxes, but I can at least keep track of things.
Yeah. No, it's huge having another
Yeah.
set of eyes that you trust. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah. But I'm
You guys are so
grateful,
cool.
man.
Yeah.
And she'd be able to see stuff that I don't have to tell her, like, I don't have to recall it. She sees it firsthand of what's happening.
Right.
Good and bad.
Yes.
Good and
yes.
Right.
That's huge,
Right.
man. No, I mean, you wouldn't. This wouldn't have happened without family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
And
And a big part of Soul Joel's is the people that work here.
yeah, for sure.
He has so many good people
No
that
doubt.
really want to be here,
No doubt.
and they're hard workers.
Yeah. I love it. It's a
Yeah.
great crew. It's a great crew.
It used to
Yeah.
be Soul Joel Productions, and by that I meant me.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, they're like, I can't believe you're the one responding to the phone calls and the emails. I'm like, well, there's no one else. So, kind of stuck.
That's so awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. I love that.
Yeah. So you have any questions for?
Dude, I have. I was like, wow, what am I going to ask Donna? And then I came up with a whole bunch of stuff. Let me see if there's anything we didn't already talk about. Oh, okay. I want to talk about, and this applies to, I know for sure, Joel and Deanna. Not sure with Laura, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same with her. The famous competitiveness, and where you saw that growing up, and where did you have that?
Yeah. Was it the wild card?
Yeah, where did that come from? How was it as a kid? Was he a total maniac on the sports field and all that?
They were very competitive from day one.
I love it. I was the same way, so I
Yeah.
fully appreciate this.
And I also think with you setting the goals like that, that's where I know I saw that stuff. So
Right. You probably picked up on it.
Goal-oriented sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Laura
cool.
was competitive too, but I don't know. Well, she's still competitive because her and Deanna play adult soccer on the same soccer
Yeah.
team, and they are competitive.
Okay. Well, that answers it then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
But who gets more playing time? And I mean, they're still competitive.
yeah, 100%.
They notice. They might tell you different, but actions speak louder than words.
100%. I love that.
Yeah.
Man. So when when did you notice that they were like over and above competitive in their sport endeavors when they were kids? Did you notice it?
Well, I just think because of the sports that they played
Yeah.
and their coaches
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the way their coaches coached, and I think that there was a drive that they created, and But I think it was also inside.
Yeah. Well, they had the right setup to stoke the fire. Right.
Exactly. It was inside of them. So when
no
the
doubt
coach,
it's in
the,
them. Yeah.
Oh,
the
yeah.
coaches just brought it.
They
out.
brought it out big time.
Brought it out.
Okay. What was your first sport? Soccer?
Probably soccer, right? Soccer.
I think it was.
Yeah, and then I got into karate because we saw an ad in the paper,
That's so
Right.
awesome.
and that's when we
Right.
linked up with the Moores, Jamie Moore.
Right. And I thought focusing in school because karate teaches
Mental discipline.
Yes,
mental
and all the
discipline.
values.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's a
thought
great
karate
idea for
would be-
anybody.
Yeah.
And he did continue with it. I thank God I found somebody. I would always try to carpool with people because then I was able to put each kid in so many things.
Yeah. I love that.
Without carpooling, I wouldn't have been able to
My
do
mom
it.
was doing the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, now my daughters were telling me they can't get people to carpool.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Everybody just wants to do their own thing? Or?
Yeah, it's rare for people to carpool.
That's interesting. I never would have guessed that.
Yeah. I don't know why.
yeah. It's,
Well, they're missing out, man.
Yeah, it's
But it was a blessing for me.
Yeah,
It was
I
a
bet.
real blessing.
Oh, that's so cool, man.
Yeah, I played karate until school sports in middle school became too much. So
Yeah.
it was
Gotcha.
through 6th grade, and then 7th and 8th grade is when they really started playing
You
sports.
had a nice long time, though, to get a foundation out of that,
Oh,
huh?
6
Well,
to
he
12.
got his black belt.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Yep.
What did you do? Taekwondo or something?
Tang Sudo.
Oh, yeah.
So it's Korean
Yeah.
karate. Yeah,
That's a big one,
but
man.
it was great.
Yeah.
Dude, is that the one? Is that the one where in the competitions where they just whale each other in the torso?
No.
Okay.
No,
what I'm
I
talking
was
about?
gonna say
Yes.
I don't remember that.
She's Italian, but she does not recall.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. That's so awesome.
But one of the disciplines was always finish what you start. Just like basically never quit, and that's something that always stayed with me.
Yeah, dude.
It's for sure.
That's
And
a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I definitely take that with me.
No, I mean you definitely got him in the right stuff to stoke the best parts of his character. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, it all did work out.
And then, dude, so I said if I ever get married, which still hasn't happened.
Yeah, I'm about to
Is
turn
this
50.
why you two get along so well?
Totally. One of the reasons.
Yep, about to be 44. We'll see what happens. But I said if we ever get married, if I ever get married, sorry, not if we ever get married, sorry.
That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, not now.
Whole other podcast.
So I would dance to "Song for Mama" by Boys to Men.
Oh.
That was the first concert she took me to at the Spectrum. Boys to Men, which we talked about.
Yeah,
music.
yeah.
But
Yeah, different than yours, I know.
Very different, yes. So awesome.
she's a fan.
I love it.
So
love
I back then in '98 I burned it on a CD, and she listened to it after she dropped me off at college at Wagner, which has now shaped my entire existence because that's why I got into comedy and how I started Soul Joel Productions. I got my MBA and everything, and know all the comics that I know because I went to New York. I was gonna go to school in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, which I've never talked about, to King's College or Wilkes.
Get
And
out.
My whole life
Would
would
have
have
been
been
a whole different thing,
Whole different
man.
thing. Yeah. But she on the turnpike started listening to "Song for Mama" and said she was crying because she said, and I quote, she knew I was never coming home.
Wow.
You just get that gut feeling. And when I
Yeah.
dropped him off and was driving home, I just thought, he's never coming home.
You just had a feeling.
I did. And,
And you had a feeling Deanna was
That's
never gonna.
incredible.
You had a feeling Deanna was never gonna leave.
No, Joe. Joe.
Watch your head. Watch your head, Joe. Here comes the bus.
Joe, God bless him. I mean, Laura was, I think, maybe 12. She wasn't quite a teenager yet, or real close to becoming a teenager.
Okay.
And Deanna, she was 15, and she was, I mean, the first day he met them was Deanna was in rare form. Rare form.
And I he got a taste of me.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
I came home. I was about to go to a college formal.
Okay.
Right, like basically a college prom.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Right. I needed to come home and get my dress shoes.
Okay.
Because it was cheaper than buying them myself. Again. Crazy.
So hot.
Yeah, but it was my birthday. It was around this time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I came home, shoved cake in my face, left.
Got some shoes.
My mom goes, "Well, you met Joel. That's who he is."
Deanna, we picked her up from soccer practice, and she gets in a car, and she's MFing her coach. And I said, Deanna, I really wanted you to meet somebody. And I was horrified. I mean, this guy's never going to call me back again. And
now you've met Deanna.
And Laura, I think Laura was fine. I think Laura was.
Well, Laura,
She was younger.
Laura's even said throughout her entire from kindergarten to once teachers met her. Are you Joel's sister? Yes. Deanna's sister? Yes. Which one are you like? Are you more like Joel, or are
Because
you?
they were polar opposites.
Yeah, totally, man, totally. Oh, that's so funny.
Oh my gosh!
That
And
is so
poor
funny.
Joe. I mean, the dog peed on his shoe.
Yeah. Well, you've heard the story.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, you did hear the story already.
Yeah.
I don't know why he
so
ever called
awesome.
me back.
I mean, he got all the craziness out of the way and right off the bat.
He did tell me. He said, nobody's life can be this bad all the time.
Little did he know.
That's what he said. He said, I should have ran.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But he has been so good. Every car accident, every time I would call him, because we lived in different states for a while.
Wait, every car accident? There's a list?
It's not one.
Moly.
Oh, it's
And what a rock Joe is, by the way.
Yeah.
He is a rock. He was always there, and whenever I needed something, he was always there. And they're like his real
Yes.
blood kids.
It's a beautiful
100%.
thing, man.
And so are all the grandchildren.
Yeah.
It's a really beautiful thing.
It is.
You know, he's a good man.
He's a very
I knew it
good
the second
man.
I met that guy, and nothing has ever dissuaded me from that opinion.
Yep. So to get into the accident part, they got into car accidents. Deanna and Laura.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so my favorite of Deanna's, like a couple of were fender benders, like whatever, like just not paying
Totaled
attention.
2 Lexuses.
Unbelievable.
Oh.
But go ahead.
No. Punchline. There you go. But after that, there was a Subaru, and she hit the car next to her backing out of a parking spot. Car's parked, she's parked, she hit it. I mean, that's like driver's ed.
That's hilarious.
Come on. But I'm in college, right? And I drove the 1986 Dodge minivan. Okay, Woodside panel.
Oh, we had one of those,
Plymouth
yeah.
Voyager. Yeah. Right. So she gets a phone call from the neighbor and goes, "Is Joel home from college?" She's like, "No." Like, well, it just clipped my car parked out on the street and took off both cars' rearview mirrors. Boom, clipped. What happened was Deanna and her friends took it out. Well, Laura goes, "I'm going to tell Mom unless you let me drive it."
And she was 12.
Oh, what a trip.
So
Oh.
at 12, you could barely see over the...
And she'd already learned the very important skill of blackmail.
Yes.
So awesome.
And somebody else told me, I were you away last night? I said, yeah, I was down in Atlantic City for a real estate convention.
Okay.
And she said, I hate to tell you this, but I think I saw Deanna driving your car down Main Street. Not only did she have enough guts to drive the car, but she drove it down Main Street.
How did anybody spot Deanna's head above the windows?
Yes. Which, by the way,
They just saw a headless car and assumed it was Deanna.
that was You Are Here 3 miles away.
It was.
Not
Thank
close.
God they didn't kill anybody or themselves.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's funny. I had a few. I did a few scofflaw maneuvers like that myself, but the 12-year-old thing is pretty impressive.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, what a
I am
riot.
lucky that they're all okay.
Oh, it's amazing. That's so. Wow, what a trip.
Insane.
I love it.
Yeah.
Your family's so awesome. You all have fun.
But not perfect by any means.
Nope. Oh, that would be weird if you were.
Yeah.
It'd be like
yeah.
a Stepford Wives situation. You know what I mean?
There you go.
You guys are definitely human.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, we got lucky, man. And it's I wouldn't be here without any of them. And my stepdad included, my dad, my 2 sisters, my brother-in-law, my mom.
Such a good crew, man.
Yeah.
Like everybody's awesome. You
Yeah.
know, and I've seen it in action all the time. It's really cool.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I have one more if that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm curious if there was like since Joel got into meeting all these crazy people, right, and comedians and now musicians and stuff. Was there somebody you were actually excited to meet along the way? Who was somebody where you were like, oh, this is cool, not just like?
Well, unfortunately, I was not familiar with the comedian world, but I got to meet a lot of these comedians because they stayed like at our shore house when I was down there.
Oh, interesting.
Because Joel
Okay,
used
cool.
to perform in Sea Isle City.
Oh, okay.
And so like James Mattern and Giannis, these guys would stay at my house, and I got to know them. So I'm always excited when they come back in town.
That's so
because
cool.
I know them.
So you already knew James very well before he was living in your daughter's
in
basement.
Fact, we have a funny story about him, if I can tell.
Please.
Because we got up earlier and made breakfast for these guys, not knowing what time they were going to get up. And I made this big bowl of fresh fruit.
Okay.
And I put it on the table, and, I was making other stuff. Well, James gets up, and so did Giannis, and he's just took the big spoon and started eating it. And
Giannis goes, "Hey, Bubba's. That's for the rest of the family."
Oh, that's so funny. Did James was he like, oh, or did he make a funny?
Well, first of all, he was embarrassed.
Okay.
Yeah. Second of all, he was
Appropriate
like,
response.
he thought that was individual serving spoons.
Oh, that's and it's a big
yeah.
70 pieces of fruit in there.
Yeah. The spoon was as big as your glasses.
Are comic, no
That's so
matter
funny.
and whatever they do, they're comedians.
Right.
Yeah.
It was just, but I've known them for a long time, and it's just nice to see how far they've gotten.
Yeah. Isn't that cool? That's got to
It
feel
is
so
so
good.
nice. Yeah, that I enjoy more than anything.
I love that. I think that's really neat.
But that sparked another question. It all wasn't good vibes down in CIO. So when I left pharmaceutical sales, I was doing a radio show. I started the Comedy Point. It was on the radio, AM and FM radio. Then we turned it into a podcast.
Okay.
Well, Rich Schultes, great guy, still producing shows, but he had I had the Soul Joel Mobile. He had a Mayhem and Madness RV.
Oh, okay.
And it had like on the side. Well, we were handing out flyers there and then Atlantic City. Well, my mom and my stepdad were renting out the shore house, so they didn't get in until the next morning. And we were about to get out and start handing out flyers again for that show that night.
I see.
So they come and knocking on and that's where the RV, and we came out because, they had just rented out so that we couldn't stay anywhere else except for the RV.
Okay.
Well, my mom fast forwards 20 years and thinks I'm going to be like Rich.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
One day living out of the RV.
Yep, living in a van down by the river.
I couldn't sleep for a while.
Oh, no.
Apparently she wept herself to sleep that night.
Oh, no.
Oh, my
Not to
gosh.
Boys to Men either.
Yes. No. A much different weep.
But I have to give Rich credit, though, because we took him out to dinner, and then he came back into town years later and took me out, remember?
He did.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, he
How
did.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
That was very cool.
Wow.
He was
Yeah.
a gentleman.
Yeah, that's a true gentleman right there.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. That's really cool. That's a cool story.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, he did. A great guy. It just,
Yeah.
it was just funny. It wasn't the moment that we thought. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah,
Oh, that's priceless, man. And talk about, by the way, you guys were ahead of the curve. You were right there with Rogan starting a podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. For 2006, man, we had Lisa Lampanelli and Jim Norton and Mick Foley.
Crazy.
Got Mick back into comedy.
That's incredible.
Storytelling and stuff like that. Yeah, it was pretty wild.
That's
man.
incredible.
Just like she said, how to figure out how to monetize it.
Right. Which was
All that stuff led me to here.
that was the early days of the Wild West of the internet, man. So
Yep.
yeah, it was tough to figure, but wow, you were right there. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Joel's just impatient, though, because when we were looking at properties, I know he wanted to have a place the week after he closed
Sure.
the old one in Royersford.
Sure.
But it just didn't happen. I mean, and especially when you find a commercial place,
Yeah.
it could take a year to close.
Yeah.
Because these loans aren't instantaneous.
Let alone what you have to do once you have it.
Oh my gosh, it was a long road, but I think he learned patience along the way.
Yeah, well, it was certainly shoved down his throat.
I'm like, finish the story, Mom, and get to the point. I don't know where you're going.
Look at that patience in action.
Oh my
God. That's so awesome.
Yeah, but no, it definitely. She did teach me. I just thought, hey, I'm trying to keep my business afloat. I had employees guys employed, which ended up peeling off at different times. So it all happened for a reason. But I was trying to force a round peg into a square hole.
Right.
And even Ed Nelson was like, dude, you have a vision. Don't settle.
Yeah.
So
go for the vision.
It just, I don't know why, but it was a little smoother coming from him.
Right.
Mom.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to hear a voice that you don't hear all
listen,
the time.
if you're going to do it right, man.
Yeah.
Make sure it checks all the boxes. And everywhere along the way, this place didn't work out, this place didn't work out. It led us to here, and it checked all the boxes. Plenty of parking right off 422, not far from Royersford where I was. And everybody thought I was going to leave state and go to New Jersey and leave. It's just crazy rumors. But this was where we were meant to be. I mean, do you agree with that?
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Totally agree. It's been a great place. And people still are awed by the whole place when they come here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like this whole thing is yours.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, even Greg Stone, which I knew him when it was Greg Coraluzzo, and he stopped. He wanted coffee, and he comes into the bathroom and goes, "How do you fit in here?" Oh no, I'm sorry, in the kitchen, and I was like, "No, he goes, this whole thing." They just thought I'm renting that comedy
Totally, dude. Totally.
inside the space.
Yeah, man.
And have a mutual bathroom, and I could use that.
Right. Like they're letting me do this here.
Yep.
Yeah. Or I'm paying them.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah.
Dude, priceless, man.
Wow.
Priceless.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love seeing those reactions. I love seeing this place. The first time I came here, I was like, what? Like, this is unbelievable, because I knew all the struggles. You know what I mean? I didn't know a tenth of it, but I knew you were struggling. I knew you weren't happy not having a place, for sure. And then all of a sudden you had a place, and I came down and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this is the place? Like, this is unbelievable. I mean, one look at the ballroom and you're like, what?
Yeah.
And then you had everything else to it.
I love that ballroom.
Me too. It's incredible.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's absolutely freaking incredible. You can feel the history the second you step foot in it.
It's magical with the way those lights are curtained up there.
Yeah.
When somebody has a wedding, it just brings a certain magic to their wedding.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It is.
The history. I just feel like the weddings here are blessed.
Yeah. And you hear music come off that stage, man, especially those big jazz bands, and it's like, oh, this is what this was built for.
And
like,
watching the people dance.
Yeah.
Of all ages.
Yes.
All ages enjoy that dance floor.
I love that. I love it so much. And all styles,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. Oh.
But even in the afternoon on New Year's Eve, you had people that were 90, and this guy, I think he was 86. Him and his wife, like she just said, had their first date here, and she had since passed, but he's still around. But then we had guys and girls that were not 21, but they still wanted to go out and have fun, so they came to an afternoon dance because we card at the bar, but you can still come in. But not many places are like that. If you're not 21, you just can't get in.
Right.
But we just handle it that way, and people love it. What she said, all ages,
Yes.
Or our line dancing. We allow kids that are 10, 12 years old. They know they want a line dance, so they come in with their parents.
Yes, it's a cool thing.
Yeah,
man.
no need for a babysitter. They're dancing too.
Exactly. Yeah, they're busting out the room.
And it's reasonable. You can afford to come here to do that.
Totally. That's one of the coolest things, because I mean, like, I've always been a huge concert guy. I'm a musician. I've been big about going to concerts my whole life.
Yeah.
But starting in the early 2000s, concert prices and just it keeps exponentially growing, just got insane.
Yeah.
Like I paid $50 to sit in the 13th row of Veterans Stadium for Pink Floyd in 1994. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, I couldn't pay $50 to get into the nosebleeds of any concert I want to see now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
can't.
and if I want to shake somebody's hand that's in the band after the show, right?
Yeah.
Now I got to pay an extra $1,000.
Right.
Who can afford that?
Right. So now you've just paid $1,500 to sit in a half decent seat that doesn't require binoculars.
Right.
And to shake the dude's hand who you've listened to his albums your whole life. Screw that. I'm coming to Soul Joel's on a Friday night. I'm even going to pay the extra $10 and get a VIP seat for $30.
Right.
And then I'm going to shake that dude's hand afterwards because it's cool like that.
Which is amazing.
Comics, even the big time comics are very friendly.
Yes. There's
Like
very
Vic,
few.
I can't believe how friendly Vic is.
He's amazing.
with-
He's running around the crowd before shows, making videos and
Vic
doing all that
DiPotetto.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is such a nice man, but he remembers. I read an article on him, and he remembers from where he came. And
Yes.
he never forgot that.
I love that. I
So-
love that. It's so cool.
I want to close the podcast with a question that Ronan started. Your favorite Soul Joel moment. It could be something about me or just at a show in general. I'm gonna tell one that I think might be it, but you can finish.
Okay.
Her dad, okay, was at a show. Now it was around here. So my first thing was at a golf course, not Westover, right down the street, Jeffersonville.
Okay.
Okay. So and my dad, her dad, my grandfather was living with them, so brought him to a show.
Okay.
Wearing world's #1 grandfather.
Oh, I love it already.
Fell asleep. Josh Spear was on stage. He was like, you know what's very rewarding? You know, everybody does this for different reasons. For the fame, sometimes the women, sometimes for money. But when I look out in the crowd and see the guy who's booking me and paying me, grandfather, asleep, nothing feels better.
That was a great moment.
That's awesome. Oh, it's so awesome.
But then we had a lot of great Pappy moments.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's a beautiful thing.
But is there another story?
He took your microphone once.
He took Giannis's microphone.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the story that Giannis told.
Was that out in Pittsburgh or
Yep,
something?
yep.
Yes. Yes, Giannis told it in Jersey at the mile.
Yeah. That was it. That was part of that rant.
He's quite a character.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Oh, yeah. Dude, he was ruining states and multiple shows in multiple places.
Now, did he do an act? What happened when he took the mic? I don't remember that part of the story.
92 years old, he thought, why not now? If not now, when?
Stage debut.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
And
Age meant nothing to him.
Did he kill?
Dude, no. I mean, like, yeah, he was up there just. Everyone was just shocked.
That's so awesome.
They're like, there was only 10 people in the crowd, and one of them just grabbed the microphone. And Giannis was like, yeah, this show's already off the rails. Why not?
Who knew Giannis would be playing theater someday
God
when you're
love
on that
Giannis.
day, right?
Exactly.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah. All right, well, another episode of Bring 'Em Out.